welcome back to Surface Noise. Today's video, I'm doing another Top 100 Albums video. And today's choice is the 1987 debut of Guns N' Roses, Appetite for Destruction. Right there. And there's the back cover. So Guns N' Roses started from LA, formed in '85. Actually started with Izzy Stradlin and Tracy Guns of Hollywood Rose and LA Guns. Izzy Stradlin recommended Axl Rose to sing for LA Guns to Tracy Guns. They ended up forming Guns N' Roses instead, the three of them plus a couple other people. Eventually, Tracy Guns left due to, I guess, argument with Axl Rose. He was replaced by Slash. The bass player who left was replaced by Duff McKagan. I think he only played one show with them, and then he was replaced. And then the drummer was the last one to go, and he was replaced by Steve Adler, and that left you with the Guns N' Roses that we all know that are on this album, on the back there. So, played a lot of shows around the LA, the club circuit there. Got a pretty good reputation. They ended up signing to Geffen Records eventually. And in '87, this album came out. And initially, not a lot of attention on it, really. They did have a video for Welcome to the Jungle. It didn't get too much airplay. Geffen put a little bit of, I guess, pressure on MTV to start playing it, so they did start playing it late at night. Once some of the hard rock fans got their hands on it or heard it, they started requesting it, and then they got a little bit more attention. They ended up touring this album quite a bit. They opened for the Cult, and that is a show I saw. I didn't know Guns N' Roses for that show. I was there to see the Cult. That was the Cult Electric tour. And they opened up. The things that I recall from that show is Slash's hat, Axl Rose's purple leather pants, and the fact that they did a cover of Knockin' on Heaven's Door, which they later recorded and released, I think, on Use Your Illusion, one of the records. The other thing notable with that concert is that Ian Astbury got arrested for attacking a security guard. Ended in a bit of a riot, so sort of notable, but not so much for Guns N' Roses' performance, although they were fine. They were okay. Yeah, it wasn't until later. And again, after the show, I did buy the album, but it wasn't huge by any means. I liked it, but it wasn't huge at the time until Sweet Child of Mine was released, and that became a huge hit. And at that point, that's when the album really took off, and the band really took off at that point with that song, and things really blew up for them. They did have 5 singles off of this record. Welcome to the Jungle, Sweet Child of Mine, Paradise City. It's another big video too. I think it's a live video of Paradise City. Night Train and the Mr. Brownstone It's So Easy split, I think, single. That was the other single, I believe. So I'll briefly show you. This is not the original cover. This is the replacement. I'll quickly flash the original. I don't want to do it too long because of the nudity in it, but that is the original one. That was not deemed to be, I guess, friendly enough to sell everywhere. It might not have gotten the records out there as much as the label wanted them to, so they changed it to this here. The record itself, you can see if you look here. I don't know if you can get the light out of the way. That says G, as far as instead of A, it says side G, and this one says R. So what that was, I mean, you know, G and R, of course, Guns N' Roses, but the significance, I guess, of that was that the Guns side, those songs were mostly about drugs and city life. So you have tracks like Welcome to the Jungle, which is something that apparently Axl Rose heard a homeless guy yell at him when he got off the bus in New York, I think, with another friend of his. They were quite young at the time. Also songs like Night Train, or Mr. Brownstone, which is about heroin, Paradise City. This is all about like life in the city and drug abuse, basically. Side 2 is the Rose side, so that has songs mainly about sex and relationships and love. So My Michelle, Sweet Child of Mine, which was written or inspired by Erin Everly, who was Axl Rose's girlfriend at the time, and also the daughter of Don Everly of the Everly Brothers. Anything Goes, that's a song about sex as well. You're Crazy, and then Rocket Queen is the final one, a fairly long track. To me, it sounds like it's almost like about an older woman. To me, I'm not sure. That's what it lyrically kind of comes across that way for me. So, but this is 12 solid tracks though. This is a great record. I think this is my favorite. I think that after this they released Lies, which was like a combination of some new tracks with an EP that came out earlier. Some okay songs on there. They did the Use Your Illusion albums, which were quite large. Good, but a lot of stuff. This is much more concise. So I think it's almost like they did more. Maybe another record like this, like another 12-track record instead of a big album like the Use Your Illusion series, may have been a better progression for them. But I can't say for sure. But you know, maybe because you know things gradually got worse, and then of course most of the band left except for maybe Axl Rose, and then it took like forever to get the follow-up with Chinese Democracy, which was you know barely Guns N' Roses, I guess. It's not the original band anyway. So I don't know. That's my take on it anyway. But this album, I think, is a solid debut. One of the great records of the 80s. And yeah, in my top 100 for sure. And I listened to it a lot back then, and very much still like it. I think it still holds up. So that's it. That is my speaking of this album, Appetite for Destruction by Guns N' Roses, in my top 100. That's it for today. If you enjoyed this, please like and subscribe. I also have a website. I'll leave the link in the description. Hope everyone has a great day, and I'll talk to you next time.